This exhibition had drawn several Brazilian companies keen to share their expertise and do business in Kenya. One of them was Brazafrique. It has been transforming the manufacturing of farming equipment, supplying customized machinery suitable for the East African market. It sees Kenya as an appealing market for exporting technology due to the country's agricultural vibrancy.
I came to Kenya in '93 to work for an airline here, working for the United Nations. And when I came here, I mean, we liked very much the country, myself and the family, and we did as well recognize there was a lot of need of certain things. There was a lot of opportunities, basically. And so we created the Brazafrique, and we started with coffee processing machinery. And from there we developed into other lines, and bringing basically Brazilian solutions to Africa, to Kenya, and then we expanded to the region.
I believe this part of African continent is very good, especially Kenya and neighboring countries. So we are established here we started about 8 years ago, and we are growing up year by year. So we are very happy to be here with a partner in Kenya and also for the neighboring countries.
According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, increased imports have negatively impacted on the current account. Kenya's trade deficit stands at over 122 billion shillings as of June this year.
What I see between Kenya and Brazil is not exactly a deficit in terms of what they export here and what we export there, but rather the value of what they bring vis-a-vis what is it that we are getting. Unlike the traditional partners that we've always had in Kenya, the Brazilian transfer is actually a real transfer of technology. If you look at their experience, their reality, their farms, their agriculture, their machines, they are very adaptable to our reality here. They have a method of farming that I think will be part of our revolution if we are going to move forward.
But investments in technology and equipment are key to Kenya's goal of becoming a middle-income economy by the year 2030. And for emerging powerhouse economies like Brazil, India and China, Kenya's economy makes for an appealing investment and trade destination.
The Kenya market is the largest market for Brazil in Eastern Africa, and mostly because Kenyans are the biggest, the largest market for the Brazilian aircraft industry, which is Embraer. You are, in the whole Africa, our best customers.
Kenya wants to learn how to produce high-quality goods from Brazil, whose own manufacturing sector continues to drive economic growth.
They have managed to change the methods that are used by both small-scale farmers and large-scale farmers to an extent that they conserve their soils, they improve their nutrition in order to produce even more, and they have mechanized it in a way that it is able to serve both the very large farmers for export and others, and the very small farmers for the various programs that they have, from domestic food basket to even feeding programs for schools.
The Kenyan industry is becoming more and more sophisticated. I mean, I noticed over the years that there's a lot more new products in Kenya being created on a daily basis. The local manufacturers, they are aggressive and they are doing a good job. I think is really one thing that the Kenyan businessmen, they do not know Brazil. I think Brazil has some solutions a little bit different than other places like the Northern Hemisphere and eastern part of the world. So, you will be surprised to visit Brazil how much similar things we have in terms of people, in terms of culture, and products that could fit very well into this market here.
Kenya's service industry can also benefit from the Brazilian experience.
Actually, it has to be a both way. Not only Kenya has to do something, but Brazil is also thinking in ways of not eliminating, but that's difficult, but to decrease this trade deficit. And one area in which we truly believe that we can probably help diminish or shrink the trade deficit is in the service area, mainly in the touristic area. We are glad that we already have one Eastern African airline, which is Ethiopian Airlines, that flies to Brazil, and we are waiting for Kenyan Airways to start flying also to Brazil, which will help bring a lot of Brazilians to Eastern Africa and especially to Kenya, that has a lot to offer in terms of tourist attractions.
As more people explore entrepreneurial opportunities, financing will be critical to improving economic trade across the board.
First, we need to change some of our laws to be a little bit more accommodating to some of these people's situations. But leveraging finance also means integrating capacity here. If we take the numbers, if you go as an individual and try to ask for a loan from a PTA bank, you probably won't get it. But if you put yourself together into a unit, it becomes more fundable. And I think these are the kind of things we need to start adopting. How do we put the youth together based on skill, sector, talent, capacity, or even demand? We mobilize youth into these groups and they take them now to face the rest of the world in terms of seeking finance, seeking even technology.